Discourse. I do it daily. So do you. We all do. But if you consider how discourse has evolved, there are things I want you to think about differently today and in the future. Discourse in the past has been words, spoken or written, but has gradually moved to an arena with signs, symbols, and a whole host of visual elements. Now, along with this, we have to recognize that there are individuals who have dove into the digital arena or the digital technology arena and or have moved to not accept it at all. We tend to think about the people, especially those of us in this room, who are completely familiar with technology, digital or otherwise. But I want you to think about the people who are not. Society has this way of looking at people when we have stark differences. First class, economy. Haves, have-nots. Gated communities, natural neighborhoods. So too do we have native, digital speakers, and non-native speakers. We currently have 5 to 6 different generations, all cohabitating this space here on Earth, and we all have very different preferences for utilizing technology. And we have to recognize that there may be stages in which the non-native speakers are looking at technology. Again, there are those who choose not to engage with technology, digital or otherwise, in any form. But we want to talk about the people who maybe be thinking about it. And I tend to think about this in 4 different ways. There are those that are perceived as lost, but they're really not. They just haven't figured out how to dive in. We also think about understand and found and access when we think about the 4 stages of the non-native speaker. So again, they're not really lost. They're just not sure where their place is in it. And so one of the things we say in performance improvement is, could they do it if their lives depended upon it? Would they miss it if they didn't even know it existed? And I think it's very easy for us to look at the lost component and think they just don't know where they are. I contend they do. They just don't know how to insert themselves. Then we get to the found component. This is another stage. So they may have been lost, but now they're like, wow, there may be something to this. There's something that I can take advantage of. Remember, we can pay bills, download music, we can share recipes. There are a host of these ways to use technology that are very attractive for a non-native speaker. They gradually want to know, how do I dive in? Exactly, how do I get there? We reach the stage that I call understanding. And here's where I think it's somewhat interesting. Remember, technology has evolved. Since 2007, we have accelerated at such a rate that there are a number of individuals that never got a chance to dive in, and therefore they're like, how do I even use this? What is that? What are you holding? How do I put that on? And so when we think about understanding this stage with the non-native speaker, we have to take into consideration that there have been one other case in human history, especially in the United States, where the whole populace needed to come forward. And what happened? Congress passed an act. 2 acts, in fact, the Morrill Acts, 1862 and 1890. They created the land-grant university system, the system that was to bring the research of the universities to the common man and create equity. Equity that was supposed to bring innovation and information and knowledge to the common people. The other institution, or system, if you will, that was created 150 years ago, the public library system. Love librarians. They made a big difference in my life, past, present, and I know they will in the future. Public servants totally dedicated to making sure that I have the knowledge and requisite skill set to understand something completely. They're tax funded typically. So these are 2 systems that have been around for 150 years. They were created to bring us knowledge, created to make sure we had the books in hand that we needed. Now, mind you, I recognize that not everybody goes to the Cooperative Extension Office, not everybody goes to the library to get information. In fact, I dare say a number of people, when I speak at graduate care facilities, say, my grandson taught me how to use a smartphone. Or, hey, there's a tutorial on YouTube that'll make it really easy for you. I personally have benefited from YouTube learning how to manage technology, digital or otherwise. So they understand now. We've reached 3 stages: lost, found, understand. But here's the hitch. Not everyone can take advantage of the technology because they can't afford to buy the tools. Not everyone in the communities in which they exist has access to the infrastructure to even utilize the tools they may even get their hands on. It is not a barrier of language when it comes to technology, digital or otherwise. It's a matter of access. And so it is up to us to advocate for access so that equitable distribution of capability continues to exist. So when your public library goes to its county funding board and asks for funding to be digitized or have all their collections digitized, I want you to say, I'm standing right there with you. If your municipality wants to create a Wi-Fi corridor so that they can create economic opportunity, I want you standing next beside them. If you are talking to a parent whose son or daughter needs to have access to the tools to discover the world around them, I want you to tell them that you're going to get them for them. If you are an older worker, I do not in any way want you to feel that you won't get the training you need so that you can become a native speaker and stay in the workforce. And I certainly don't want you to be a tech-savvy 40-year-old being told that you are no longer relevant. And it is most certainly about net neutrality. Access is about giving everyone, all people, all walks of life across this entire United States the ability to dive in and understand. One of the things that we can do is to make sure that when we pair access and understanding, that we provide the resources that will build the communities so that no one is left behind. Thank you.